I'm Eric Lenask here with the TMC Roadshow in San Jose, California. And today I'm talking with Kourosh Amiri from Cavium. Kourosh, thanks for joining me. It's good to have you on the program.
Great to be here.
So let me start off. Give us a quick refresher on who Cavium is.
Sure. So Cavium is a processor company. We've been around for about 11 years. So the company started out building security processors and multi-core network processors, and went public in about 2007. In the past, I would say 4 or 5 years, we've started, focusing on the consumer side of things a little bit. There have been a few acquisitions in the past 3 or 4 years, particularly on the home consumer type products, technologies including, video and networking. So the side of the business I'm on focuses on those type of technologies for really wireless display and home video distribution type of applications.
So speaking of video and display, what are the latest products that you've got coming out?
So one of the greatest things that we've done recently has been in the area of wireless projection from handsets and tablets to your big screen TV. As you know, we're all walking around with smartphones that have our video clips, our pictures, and even you're watching YouTube or Hulu type of content on your handset. So wouldn't it be great if you could share that instead of having everybody huddling over your phone, on a big screen TV? And so one of the new trends in that industry is the ability to wirelessly project that content to the TV. And there's a standard that's coming out by Wi-Fi Alliance called Miracast. And so Cavium is one of the first to actually have this type of product as an accessory, being offered by handset manufacturers. In fact, I have one of those adapters here with me. Probably familiar with HTC, one of the larger smartphone manufacturers in Taiwan. So they recently announced their HTC One series smartphones. And so what they did was they basically announced the HTC Media Link HD, which is an adapter that you connect via the HDMI cable to your TV, and using standard Wi-Fi technology, it receives video and audio streams from the HTC One handset and allows you to project your content, whether it's you're browsing the web, or you have video clips that you want to share with friends, or music, or any type of media content. Basically, you can project it. Also, because of the low latency technology from Cavium, we're able to create very interactive and support very interactive applications. So you could even play, video games, or any sort of kind of entertainment, from the handset or the tablet to the TV. So this is a real trend in the industry. You've probably seen, the Samsung commercials, moving in that direction. So we're obviously focusing quite a bit on this type of technology, and a key area that we see happening here is, in addition to supporting wireless display or mirroring type of features, Cavium also has IP set-top box business, which allows you to bring in OTT or over-the-top content also to the box. So the same platform will be able to support a combination of wireless display and streaming type of applications. So this way, this consumer will only need to have a single box sitting next to their TV, and they'll be able to support, all different kinds of, content, whether it's stored on their handset or it's on the cloud.
Now, there's a second port on that as well. What is that for?
Yeah. So again, there are 2 ports on here. One of them is HDMI, right? So for the video. The second one is USB. So this device, in order to make it portable and very convenient to use, it's actually powered by USB. So as you can imagine, something like this, potentially getting smaller, right? Could be literally like a USB or HDMI dongle that you carry with you in your pocket, and it becomes an accessory for your handset, just like your Bluetooth headset is today, right? So this way, you literally have an IP set-top box that you can take with you, wherever you are, and you're no longer tied to your setup at home, your set-top box and your TV, whether you're in a hotel room, your friend's room. You can always take this out, hook it up, and boom, with your handset, you have access to all of your content.
So the device you're holding is device specific. Do they have to be device specific? Do they have to be, in fact, do they have to be handset vendor specific, or are there standards-based units that are going to be coming out?
Right. Very, very good question. So, because this is an early part of the market, in order to educate the consumers, I think a lot of the handset manufacturers are looking to do their own dongle, their own adapter, branded their own name, and potentially even bundle it together so that the consumers know that this is happening, right? That this application is available. What Cavium's done, we've actually done our own reference design. Surprisingly similar in form factor and size to what you saw earlier. Same type of interfaces that we're promoting to our OEM customers, so the handset manufacturers. Even the mobile carriers are very interested in this type of this because this type of device actually enables bringing new services to the TV, right? So you're no longer confined to the handset or the tablet. You're actually able to now project everything to your TV, right? So that's very interesting for the mobile carriers from a service standpoint. You can envision a model where the mobile carriers are now offering content and their own services similar to a Comcast or Dish Networks, who has a larger set-top box at home. Now this becomes your mobile carrier set-top box, if you will, right? So there's a lot of interesting business models could evolve, and in that scenario, you don't want to be necessarily handset specific. And with a new standard coming from Wi-Fi Alliance, Miracast, a box like this, could support Miracast, which Cavium actually does today, and then basically any handset that has Miracast capability will be able to talk to this.
Yeah, you spent a lot of time talking about consumer applications. I can also see some an enterprise play there, some enterprise collaboration. I guess we're already down significantly in form factor with people carrying around tablets and sharing content on tablets, but taking that same sort of application, putting it up onto conferencing solutions or big screen TVs in the office. Absolutely.
So in the commercial or enterprise application, this is an area where I think there's a lot of interest. Depending on what specific segment you're talking about, it may, there are some dependencies on the Wi-Fi technology. Today, if you're talking about walking into a conference room, having something like this integrated inside of your projector, for example, so people are not scrambling looking for the VGA cable or whatnot, right? And you have that software, the Miracast software or the Intel Wide-Eye software running on your notebook, you can basically immediately connect, right? So that's very attractive, right? In the commercial side, the digital signage, for example, even medical imaging, and there's a lot of different places. The airport, the malls, you have these signs, digital signage that you want to be able to transmit to. What happens in those cases is because you have so many signs and you're trying to transmit from maybe one access point, that makes it a little bit complicated for today's Wi-Fi technology, right? So there may be some interference, things like that. At home, you don't have as many. You have 2 or 3 TVs. It's much easier to handle. So as the Wi-Fi technology matures and we move from today's 802.11n to AC and later on to AD, the whole bandwidth issue gets resolved, and I think you'll get this thing getting adopted, across a much larger number of segments. But going back to the other point that you asked about, in terms of are these device specific? So Cavium has been doing wireless display long before the standard was there or even the Intel Wide-Eye was announced. So we developed our own protocol on top of what is basically the standard today, called YView. And so what this allows the handset manufacturers to do is while they support Miracast for compatibility with other devices, they have the ability to actually customize when they know it's at the other end, it's their own device. So this device could work with any handset, but for example, in case of HTCs, it would work better with the HTC handset or Samsung or Motorola. You see that. So there's an opportunity for differentiation, and that's one of the things that Miracast has not done. They have not really defined all the different parameters. They only define compatibility. So that leaves an opportunity for companies like Cavium and the handset manufacturers to work on end-to-end better performance, better interoperability, better interactivity. So,
well, certainly look forward to the future and seeing what kind of applications come out of this. Kourosh, thank you so much for joining us on the TMC Roadshow.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.